I've forgotten to mute myself in one place. There we go. We are back with the draft of Game 4. This time, I'm still joined by Rodad. Rodad, you've decided to stick around with us, and I could not appreciate you more, especially because I'm going to need you to guide me through this game where Olaf has been first rounded, and we're going to be getting what is hopefully a very aggressive game from VRX to cut Furia off.
Yeah, that's surely what we're going to be seeing here. I mean, picking up Olaf so early on is something that we will see from a lot of these squads here. And I want to quickly point out the triple ban onto Annie right there. They've banned Galio, Zoe, and Oriana. Three fairly mainstay mid laners that we do see blind picks quite a bit right here. So it's pretty awkward for for Annie, and I'm gonna be interested to see what that leaves open in terms of priority here, because when you get these triple bans, you normally are expecting to have to either first pick something or see Furia pick it up for themselves. In this case, we've got neither of those options, and Syndra is going to be the elected mid laner here. So a lot of mid lane priority already in that pick.
Syndra as well as a Camille in the mid lane.
Camille?
Oh yeah, we've got Olaf, we've got Camille, we've got Syndra's first Syndra of the season. I saw the Lux hovered earlier,
Seraphine.
and I don't know about this. Beanie did not look very comfortable on Seraphine yesterday. Is today the day to try that again?
Did they pair it with Senna?
Well, no. What did they pair it with? I think they just paired it with a regular support.
Oh, that's boring. Senna Seraphine is the meta. It's the way forward. Oh, they've got Nautilus with it. What am I chatting? Okay. Well, for anybody who wants some dark tech for a bot lane, Senna Seraphine, you both go Moonstone Renewer, you both go Staff of Flowing Water.
Oh my god.
And your Seraphine farms, so your Senna gets all the souls. It's hilarious. So, it's funny. Go on.
I was actually wondering about that because I mean Seraphine gets locked in for Furia, but VRX right now have themselves a comp that could just go Moonstone Renewer bot.
They could, and I think they all right. So they should, they won't, but they should is the important part here, that they've got these triple carry comps coming out from the top side, and you can pick yourselves up some fairly nice bot lanes to go. Typically, you do pivot and wait around the Seraphine as being that sort of mage caster down on the bot side, because you don't need all of the AP to really set yourself up, but I'm expecting just a traditional bot lane to come out. We've still got a lot of ADCs open. Aphelios and Kai'Sa are both on the table here, and I'm expecting, obviously, to be playing into a Seraphine. None of the ADCs are going to have a good time.
Yeah, you've got a lot of ground to cover here, although, like I said, even if you are playing traditional ADC into Seraphine,
okay.
I would like to see a little bit of a return to form for Beanie, as he did look really good starting off the season, but transferring into this, maybe he needs to just run it again. It could be something that's working out really well in scrims. Morgana was hovered. I was kind of hyped about the Xayah, no lie.
Okay. This pick from Furia is actually massive. Because I was thinking, I had a whole brainwave in my head right here that VRX would do and absolutely just stomp the draft. It's been absolutely mitigated by that Lucian pick, so we'll ignore it, and I'll keep my big brain to myself because it's not important here. The Lucian most likely to go mid lane still. There's this flex pick happening down on the bot side or for Furia where Seraphine and Lucian can both go mid and go ADC with the Aphelios locked in. I know it is. It's mental. But with Seraphine, or with Aphelios rather, locked in, expect the Seraphine to go down bot lane because she'll be able to sustain herself up against the Aphelios pressure early on. The Lucian in the mid lane as well, a fairly decent answer to the Syndra because it's pretty difficult to get scattered on. You know, typically using Relentless Pursuit to dodge that one. So the mid lane matchup going to be fairly straightforward for Annie, and also shouldn't really be getting ganked either, just because you can dodge out on that stun.
We are going to get another Rel today. Speaking of dodging out on stuns, there's going to be a lot more to play around right now. And it's going to provide some much-needed tankiness to the Olaf, who is the only true frontliner on the side of VRX. Furia now have the chance to round out their own draft with a frontliner of their own and look to be picking up the Ornn.
Yeah, so something a little bit out of the meta, I suppose, right now, when we're talking about these quadra carry compositions, and really Gragas has been filling that role of pseudo tank, pseudo top lane role. I would have probably liked to see the Gragas come through much more than I would have done this Ornn pick, but, you know, be that as it may, we've seen Ornn here picked up, and that obviously sets up for a really great team fight. as does Seraphine as well, with that Encore really going to be trying to set up for these double ADCs in the Graves in the Lucian to start pumping out damage. And up against an Olaf, up against a Camille here, they're going to be playing a fairly decent front-to-back situation here for Furrier. Whereas on Vorax, they've got two divers, two sort of backliners, and then the Rel to sort of mix in the middle.
And I think that that's a pretty nice combination, a little bit of alchemy there to find what could be success for 4X, because especially putting FNB, a top laner who we had expected a lot of great things from going into the season, onto the Camille, into Skeeto, who has, let's say, been underperforming recently, could be a way for them to blow up the map, could be a way for them to make these divers work. It's iffy because of what you say. You know, there are a little bit of compositional issues. They're a little bit wishy-washy. If they fall behind, it's a problem. But I see where it works.
And also, we've seen, obviously, Camille take over a game just 2 games ago. And we've seen Skeeto be abused in some matchups. So this is really the chance for Vorax to abuse this topside matchup, really start setting out this great way forward for the top side and put Vorax on the map and really put them in a good position going forward into this game.
Yeah, let's see what they choose to do in the early levels right now. I gotta have a serious talk with you though, dude. I am not a fan of Battle Queen Rel, Battle Princess Rel, whatever that is.
The skin.
Yeah, I don't get it. I like oh, it's actually a pretty even fan vote. I don't feel that the maid outfit on a horse is what I'm going for when I see Rel. Like, I want the power there, not so much the like confusing French aesthetic.
I agree. Okay, I get it. But you got to remember, Riot are just seeking money, dear. They go for Battle Princess. If they release a Battle Princess Rel, they can release Battle Princess line across all of the Uwu champions.
That's true.
Everyone that has Star Guardian, everyone that has Pajama Guardian, they all get themselves a Battle Princess at some point as well. Got to think down the line.
To balance there, I do think that Battle Princess Katarina is a really good skin, or Battle Queen, whatever that is. Battle royalty that is female. Katarina is actually a really nice skin. So we've balanced it out a little bit.
Femininity, and she's still bad as hell, you know?
Yeah.
She's still got that power pose going on with the Katarina.
Exactly. I like I like that we're getting a little bit more dimension here. With Rel, it is a little bit confusing, but we're going to leave that for another time, because right now we have gotten into the laning phase and things are waiting to explode, as Was, I'm almost certain, has definitely skilled the dismount, considering that Was is not on a horse.
Nope. He's going to be looking to re-engage here. Starts off with a slap onto Furrier.
Yeah, damage is able to trade that one back pretty well, but the lack of AD from Beanie is going to hurt them a little bit early on, since he's using his skills to clear the wave.
Yeah, and using your skills obviously is the way Seraphine is going to be trading. I'm still interested to see what sort of build path we see from Beanie here. It could easily be that Moonstone, could also just be a heavy AP route, and honestly, I don't mind it. Up against Aphelios, up against Syndra, you can definitely pump out a ton of damage and really start to exceed expectations in terms of getting that surprise burst off. But it remains to be seen. And for now, down on the bot side, I'm expecting, honestly, Furrier to take maybe a little bit of a CS deficit, just because it's pretty difficult for Seraphine to last hit if she's not using those abilities. And at a certain point, the mana does run out and the skills are no longer able to be used. If you're able to push your Seraphine under turret, it's quite likely that she's going to miss a couple of minions as well. So we'll have to wait and see if Matsukaze is able to put that order into motion. For now, though, Skeeto up on the top side, holding his own quite nicely up against FNB.
Yeah, nobody being too aggressive in the bot side, at least. Skeeto, holy lord, takes a big chunk right there. But both junglers have found themselves top side, so bot is actually hanging out pretty chill right now.
Yeah, and I actually you can see here Yampi on the Olaf full cleared his jungle. Actually started with the Raptors, so gonna have a bit more extension on the double buff timing here, and which would have been really nice if they're going for a fight around this crab. Turns out that they're not. The bot side priority for Vorax, and also just the fact that Graves is top side, or was top side and took the top crab, is going to mean that Yampi gets this one fairly freely, fairly uncontested. And actually, this clear on Olaf, it's going to net him his bot side camps. again before he recalls. So instead of going back getting the pickaxe, might be able to go back, pick up the Iron Spike Whip, and set himself up for an even better jungle clear.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a skirmish in this bot side, though. Follows in position to answer it, having recently recalled as well. It's going to be pretty powerful when he shows up here, should he choose to. Damage just needs to find a nice hook, and Was, in quite a bit of trouble, does get rooted up. Follow has arrived, and the damage is being dealt, but damage actually on the receiving end of quite a bit of it gets ignited as well, and Furia do not find much.
No, they don't. Matsukaze just turns it back around. Yampi now going to find Follow in the bush. Actually misses out on the first undertow, so they should be able to roam away. But Follow does need to be careful here.
Yeah, this is a you could die pretty quickly situation with both the CC of Was and the damage of Yampi. You're not holding up too well with double longsword at the moment. Graves is going to need to bide his time.
Yeah, gonna take his time quite nicely as well, as you so rightly mentioned. Drake gonna be spawning in about 2-3 seconds here, so we'll have to wait and see if anybody's particularly interested in that one. Once again, VRX trying to establish the push right here, channeling that Hex Flash going on in.
Was finds damage, and damage doesn't have flash anymore after using it right now to escape. I was really spooked there as I looked down at the cooldown, saw it disappear, and went, I guess he lives for now. But that is just going to happen one more time, and that's it.
Yeah, that's all they need really. Damage not able to find the aftershock proc, didn't survive that trade maybe as nicely as he'd have hoped for. But important here that gank again down on the bot side, yes, it netted a flash, but it really loses tempo for the Olaf right there. He had such a good window to go back and get himself some really good items and continue to be out on the map and keep ahead of this Graves, who, I mean, to be honest, the Olaf pathing that he started off with just put him up in such a good spot. But now it's not necessarily going to be an issue anymore. The Olaf and the Graves are now going to be equal on farm, going to have a camp, all of their camps together. And probably the next sort of fight that we end up seeing going to be in and around that bot lane crab, and maybe as Olaf walks his way back down to the bot side, in and around the Drake.
Yeah, that Drake, the Infernal Drake, should be pretty highly prioritized by both teams. VRX looks for a little bit of damage in this mid lane right now, but Annie throws it back with the culling. It does get chunked a little bit disproportionately. Right now, the problem, though, is this freeze up here that you see Follow trying to address at the moment.
Yeah, he just has to go outbreak this for Skeeto because he's in such a bad position. FNB does need to be careful, though. Skeeto playing the baiting game right now, hanging himself out on the end of the hook. And if he dashes in here, then that is just going to be the pretty much final seal on it. Although, mid lane as well, you can see these supports looking to try and find something on their own. Beanie has roamed up, but you can see Matsukaze actually with this Calibrum turret actually putting down a fair amount of damage. Nets himself his solo plate as well. And yep, Olaf spotting out the fact that, well, I don't even know if they spotted Graves, but recognizing that Graves is not here,
Yeah, Graves
and Olaf is
there.
Olaf. Olaf is Olaf means that Olaf gets the first dragon.
Yeah, has the backup of Matsukaze as well. Bot lane reset. There's no contest. It's pretty easy pickings for VRX, and it's off the back of a very nice freeze.
Yeah, the top lane pressure snowballing into a Drake, not something that we see too often here, but with FMB able to put down the hurt just in terms of macro laning prowess, I suppose, does net themselves a quick dragon down there, so really nice stuff.
Let's see what else they can continue to do with this, because even these small leads right now are going to add up to something pretty scary. If we look at Furia, they've got engaged, they've got frontline, but they don't have a whole lot of snowball on their side outside of Annie or Follow getting ahead, and neither of those things are happening right now. Annie really the closest one to having some form of lead.
With that sort of a couple of CS advantage as he comes back and is going to mop up this wave under his turret, should be able to get back out to that sort of 10 CS marker where he was quite nicely ahead of Crastiel?
I've been saying Crastiel.
Crastiel, yeah. Okay, that's fine.
I don't know if it's right, but
that's what we've been saying.
Yeah, I'm going with it.
Interestingly enough as well, that Beanie actually going for the Bandle Glass Mirror, opting into what looks like either Imperial Mandate or that Moonstone Renewer, so I have to wait and see which one of those two we do see, expecting the Moonstone pretty much every single time right now. But VRX, this early game with the Olaf, they're pumping out this objective game pretty strongly here. Rift Herald under siege as well, and you can see Follow down on the wrong side of the map. Now they might be looking to contest though.
It's a little bit late to try and contest this. VRX have found themselves that nice early rotation, and there's not a whole lot of break this time. I'm struggling to find the word here, but it's exactly what I mean last time, where like breaking positioning, much like Cruzeiro and Holy Lord and Flamengo had the dynamic with. You know what I'm talking about? Can you put that in a better way?
Well, we might have to hold it here, dear, though, because they're looking to try and take a fight.
Yeah, Matsukaze does end up burning the cleanse there, but it doesn't look like Was is going to get out nearly as easy. Gets autoed down by Annie, and it's a surprisingly late first blood to hit the rift.
Yeah, 10 minutes basically hit the marker, and it is going to be Was who hits the dirt, unfortunately. VRX going to lose their support, but a nice quick kill there for Faria. And we talked about Annie really being the sort of win condition that we tried to highlight, the position where Faria would look to Moonstone, where Faria would look to snowball. They're starting to find that advantage. Yes, it's only one kill onto the Lucian, but sometimes that's all that you need.
Yeah, one kill can certainly snowball around a team fight, around a dragon team fight, for example, where there's not a whole lot of armor stacked up yet. If this turns into a mythic, I definitely see this turning into more than just a kill on the Lucian. Right now, though, VRX are going to try and rectify this by breaking open the top lane. That's a big rotation.
Yeah, they push in the mid lane there, and you can see Yampi holding on to Rift Herald until he knows that he's going to get the most efficient charge out of it. Of course, the final two plates being the hardest ones to take down, and Rift Herald doing true damage to the turrets does mean that you're going to be able to use it at the end of the turret's lifespan, and you get the most effectiveness out of the charge. They do it perfectly, execute upon it nicely, and it's going to maybe even get a second charge right here. No Skeeto able to just about smack the eye right there, but you can see here, look at the amount of gold that's funneled into both Olaf and Camille right here. Both going back, both picking up their crucial mythic items. Or Gordrinker rather picked up, and the Divine Sunderer for Camille. Beautiful start to this top side who, we talked about Olaf really being on top of his objective game, but that's not really been affecting him in terms of farming either.
FNB straight up just goes for an engage there. Doesn't quite find it, unfortunately, as trying to engage from more than a screen away sometimes works for Camille. I see why he went for it. Didn't quite happen in that instance, but it will net them quite a bit of space around this dragon spawning in 48 seconds. A little bit of an early rotation from FNB, but needs to be matched by Skeeto.
Yeah, I like the notion that they went for that one, because if they find the kills, then they find themselves the dragon pretty much hands down. And they can also try and push in and secure them plates on the bot side as well. Going to be looking for those if they're able to, keep 5 members up. But FNB has looked for the play, didn't find it, now goes back top lane, going to catch himself a nice big wave, going to likely teleport down if Furia look to try and take this fight. And this should be the first sort of full engagement that we see. Both teams pretty even here with a 600 gold gap. Important to keep track then of our mythic items. Lucian and Seraphine both with theirs, where Syndra and Aphelios are missing them. But on the other side, we've got Gordrinker, we've got Divine Sunderer. It's going to be top side versus bot side here, as we do get set up for what looks to be a fight around this Ocean Dragon.
Oh, yeah, and Skeeto is collapsed on right now, which is a problem because he's the real only engage. Encore finds two, though. So does the knockup, and all of a sudden, you got no carries as Matsukaze flashes out, and VRX are in the thick of it there. The Infernum ultimate answers back with a little bit of damage. Cleans up Annie. Skeeto already down as well. The fight is close, but with the kill on two, Beanie, all of a sudden, it is really coming up. VRX there. Aphelios has the damage to do it. FNB cleans up damage, and VRX, they find themselves the dragon team fight win.
Yeah, Voss there with a huge stun on the Rel to keep Matsukaze alive. I actually love to see that. It's one of those small little interactions that has a big knock-on effect there, keeping the Aphelios alive, able to pump out just a little bit extra damage. Yampi able to close the Seraphine down and get that kill for themselves as well. VRX here, it's the top side pressure that comes out on top. The Camille and the Olaf are the ones that are able to make the difference, where Lucian and Seraphine just not quite finding that success.
No, not quite yet, and Seraphine a little bit split from the team near the end there as well, wasn't able to provide the healing. Let's check out how that team fight went down.
Yeah, and here you can see it, right? They find the initial engage on Skeeto, but there's nothing too committal yet. Encore as well there doesn't really do anything for the squad, and here comes the backline dive. FNB straight onto Lucian, straight onto that threat that we'd acknowledged. Gravitum ulti as well puts down a little bit of help. But you can see Follow here as well at the end, just really lost in this team fight. And that's that stun from the Rel that I love. He channeled it before he used before he got out of range, and then flashed to pull in and to catch it between himself and the Olaf. Insane mechanic from Was right there to keep his AD carry alive.
That very very heads up play. Was strutting his stuff on the Rift here, and Eddie not getting the chance to do that, as that's the carry we were looking to on the other side of this. Didn't quite have the opportunity to play the game.
No, he's definitely struggling with that one, and maybe for the future fights, we'd be looking to see the Seraphine ulti connecting onto maybe more than nobody, and
What
also
are you
to
saying?
see. I'm saying that Zero-Man Seraphine ultis are not the move, dear. That's all. That's
Wait,
all.
it hit 2 people. That was a huge. That was a massive encore. It chunked out Matsukaze, forced the flash. I'm so offended right now. Almost as offended as Matsukaze is about to be. It does end up burning the cleanse, but his support is well and truly gone.
Yeah, and we've seen Voss sacrificing for his ADC once again right there. I think that maybe the first death wasn't quite so much, but this one was. FNB goes in, though.
Yeah, FNB wants to deny Follow the chance to play the game, but down to the big
2.
tanky man. Annie has arrived now, and Matsukaze gets burned down by the Cole. Skeeto finds a 3-man knockup, but VRX do manage to disengage under the safety of their own tower with no ADC or support to show for it.
I mean, taking down the bot lane duo going to set you up nicely to try and fight against this Herald, but Syndra, Olaf, Camille still incredibly strong in their own rights here. VRX are looking to try and take this fight, and they just fought a 4v5 and it didn't go well for them. I'll be interested to see if they make the same mistake again here, because Yampi is level 10, has got Ragnarok, and could just look to rampage through these fairly low health bars of Furrier.
Looking for the smite right here. I'm not sure if he found it, because we're cutting to the team fight where FNB is going massive. Deletes 1, deletes 2, and finds himself a double kill there with Crashed Yell and Yampi picking up the others.
I mean, yeah, they're 4 versus 4, or 4 versus 5, but Beanie, pick it up, Beanie, get it, go! Oh no,
Beanie, he's not spotted though. He actually gets out. Weirdly enough,
that's insane. That ward just on the other side, just not spotting him out right there, crazy. But you can see the power of that top side trio right there. It doesn't matter that the Aphelios isn't there, because they just have Camille, Olaf with ulti, Syndra with ulti. Like, everybody is ready to just destroy Furrier as they get a little bit too aggressive. We're going to see it once again here that Furrier already chunked out. You can see Olaf going in. He just does not care about anybody. They get some lovely CC chain onto Annie as well. The Ornn gets taken out in the midst of it too, and a really nice little tap from the Camille finishing off the Graves. It's just too much for them to handle. Again, Voss really impressing with the Rel.
Yeah, very much practiced on the champion, very clearly. And even without the AD carry, they're being able to play through people like Yampi and FNB on their 2 champions respectively. It's something that is the concerning part of VRX, because they haven't got a whole lot of peel for Matsukaze, but you can't afford to ignore everybody else and just go for him.
No, the obviously notion of League of Legends is, oh, you kill the carry and you win the game. But obviously, we've talked about these quadra carry comps now a little bit today, that everybody on VRX is a carry. Voss, maybe not pumping out the damage, but pumping out enough CC to really make your life difficult. You've got Syndra, Olaf, and Camille, the top side trio that have been dominant the entire game. Taking out Matsukaze is not your lead priority right now. It's something that you should be looking to do, but you've got to take down this nearly 2-item Camille, nearly 2-item Olaf, and with 27 seconds left on this Mountain Dragon, I don't even know that they've got the tools to do it.
No, FNB is going to have his teleport up, and Skeeto will not for the moment, so VRX should be walking away with what looks to be Soul Point here, and Mountain Soul, as you say, no less, would give them a lot of tanky stats right now. Bush camping for a little bit to find out what exactly goes on, but FNB is rotated down 6 seconds on this Drake, and Furrier are going to have to give it up.
Yeah, they're not bothered at all, and quite rightly so here. Fight around the Soul Drake, but don't fight for something that isn't particularly important. But Voss, though, looking for the engage. You can see scatter hits, Crastiel finding these connections. I love this from Syndrome when they don't actually focus objectives, but instead they're looking to try and find engages and set their team up for more of a snowball.
Yeah, you've got Wasp there trying to find this engage as well, which I really like as the pseudo-tank frontline. You've now finished off the Dragon, and VRX look for a little bit of a fight on the back end of it. Don't quite find anybody, but do manage to clear out their mid lane and give some CS over to Matsukaze.
Yeah, who's not necessarily been struggling this game at all, but the successes have come from everywhere else on the map. The Aphelios here, he's getting the ADC treatment. He could be playing AD crit singed, and VRX would still be in a good spot this game, just because everything has happened around him, and he's just been cannon fodder for the squad.
Yeah, and hopefully until such a point as he does reach the item break points, will continue to be so. Because, I mean, you can see he's gone the Kraken Slayer. This is a scaling build, but as you mentioned before, a little bit of a risky one.
Yeah, and up against the composition that Fourier have drafted, I'm more inclined to allow Kraken Slayer here, not only because they have an Ornn and a Nautilus that needs to be cut through, but also the only real engage that they have is that Ornhorn, and if you're playing far back enough anyway, the Ornhorn doesn't pose too much of a threat. We do have to, of course, be cognizant of Encore as well, but Aphelios normally should be fine, and with a cleanse as well, you've got that tool there just to help you out even more.
Yeah, there's a lot of safety right now. It seems like VRX are looking to play a little topside centric, though, as we are reaching around the time when Baron will spawn. So if they could sneak that one like we've seen some teams do already today, it would net them a really big slingshot into the next couple parts of the game. You can check out the XP differentials as they show up right now. VRX topping them.
Yeah, you can see that basically they have 3 members that are almost further ahead of everybody on Fourier. Yes, Annie has been able to pick up a few minions and is just about level 12, but FNB an entire level ahead of anybody. Matsakaze ahead of Beanie by a large chunk as well, follow behind Yampi by a level. Like, all of these things, they don't seem too impactful when you look across the entire levels and think, oh, there's only 2 levels differential between the entire squad, but the hidden base stats that you get, I always mention this because they're so important. If you are ahead in levels, you're ahead in base level statistics. Things like your base AD, base health, the base armor and MR that you have as your champion as well. They're also pivotally important, that having these level leads do start to amount to certain leads that just aren't represented in gold.
Yeah, after cleaning up the Scuttle Crab there, securing themselves a little bit more vision, VRX are going to continue to play this waiting game until it seems like the next objective. Be content with the level leads that they've earned themselves and hopefully try and accumulate even more of that advantage. 40, on the other hand, need to find some sort of path to success, and I'm struggling to see it.
Yeah, the path to success comes from team fighting and team fighting well. Unfortunately, it's very difficult for them to do that because what they're relying on is Beanie. Applying Moonstone Renewer on people, and then Lucian Graves really dashing out and making their life, making everybody else's life difficult. Unfortunately, Syndra one-shots one of them, and Olaf Camille can take down the other. It's by no means easy for VRX to get that perfect team fight going, but it is much easier for them than it is for Fourier.
Yeah, especially right now as FNB can play the side lane almost, I want to say, equally or better than he can play the team fight, as he takes a quarter of Skeeto's health with a single Q.
Yeah, that true damage is going to start stacking up against Skeeto here, and we talked about level leads, and this is where the biggest disparity we see is, as well as these big ticket items coming through for VRX as well. Morellonomicon, Runan's Hurricane picked up for the mid and ADC respectively, and FNB interrupts the dash.
He ends up using Skeeto's own pillar as well with no knock-up left. He is just dead under the tower. FNB styling in this bot lane.
And he failed the flash as well over the wall. Skeeto there. Just a little bit of a rough positioning on the mouse right there. But FNB going to be able to find the solo kill down there. Divine Sunder going to help him out when taking down this big tank of an Ornn. But you can see that right now, it just does not matter. That kill so soon before the dragon is not only going to net them, a good position. Okay, Gale Force Use, well done. Not only going to net themselves a good position, but also just probably net themselves their Infernal Soul or Mountain Soul.
Yeah, with this amount of map pressure and vision that the minions create as well, there's no way for Furia to approach this. It shouldn't be warded by VRX. We can see a few scattered wards in the jungle of Furia, and right now teleport channeled as well. Seems like they just want to take this one with no real
Everyone's coming in.
Yeah,
the boys are TP'ing in right now. This is going to be the big fight to determine pretty much the game here. Furia
starts it off. Oh my lord, such an attract and repel. Pulls everyone in, damage is gone. Skeeto finds a 3-man knockup, but you've already lost 2 members. VRX explosively find the fight.
Oh my word, that was insane from Voss right there,
Well,
finding
that's
3 people.
MVP worthy there.
Yep, and
That's it.
he's been smurfing the entire game as well. He's saved Matsukaze earlier. He's done so well previously, and now just looking to try and deny follow as well in the brush. You're just dead, my friend. There's nothing to
Baits
say.
out Crastiel. This man is going insane in CBLOL today. We saw it a little bit yesterday, but he has really turned it on coming into day 2.
And oh my. Whew, that was beautiful. I honestly have no words. I want to see
Somebody
the
clip
replay
that.
of the entire fight because it was absolutely massive. Now FNB here has no hook shot. You're probably unfortunately dead here, but how Camille is Camille? This is the question.
Yeah, let's find out what FNB can do here. Unfortunately, with 7 years of CC, not much until right now, but even then, there's not quite enough damage onto damage, and Beanie is going to be looking for those last couple skill shots, and he finds the kill. It's 4 members committed to wipe 1 Baron off the board, but that's a pretty important Baron.
It's the most important Baron. It's a huge oversight from FNB right there. The rest of your team are in base, and the whole enemy team can just be wherever they want to. They have nothing to fight for at this stage. That death, it's pretty bad. It's not going to cost them too much because the rest of the squad still have Baron, and they're most likely going to be able to segue into a large amount of success across the rest of the map. I love that steal as well, but it is going to make it really difficult for FNB to continue to abuse this side lane because Skeeto has been, well, he's been able to abuse Skeeto previously, even without the Baron, so it might not mean that much of a difference, but obviously having the Baron there is just that extra thing that you're always going to love.
And just the shutdown on the Camille alone has really impacted the Baron power play. There is no clearer time to see that impact than, like you say, you should already be positive 1,500 gold.
Yeah, and that big shutdown onto Annie as well was really nice. I like the way that Furia were actually enabling this to happen. Skeeto looks for the Ornhorn, but actually doesn't quite find it. Crastiel also managing to find his way away. Ragnarok popped.
Stands still for a second and then decides to get away. Has the backup of VRX now, however. So will be VRX forcing Furia out of their own jungle instead. And Matsukaze has the Baron of his own, so will be able to find himself a turret in the mid lane.
Yes, and that is going to be the start, at least, of what may well be the downfall of Furia in the Baron power play right now. You can see starting to tend itself back toward that positive margin. 2 turrets picked up for now, and you can see that it doesn't matter if FNB doesn't have Baron, if he doesn't choose to split push, and if he goes with the rest of the squad. Voss going to be the split pusher in the mid lane. We love that.
Yeah, this is real nice, and I really like the way that Crastiel and FNB have grouped up to mitigate a lot of that. You can 1-3-1, so even though FNB doesn't have the Baron, the side lane is enabled, but Was tanks a hook, actually fully tanks it, it does no damage to anyone.
Have you heard of my friend Mountain Soul?
That was crazy.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, so what you see VRX doing here, well, they were holding the wave, and then Crastiel left and let the Baron minions die, but they're trying to sync up their waves so that the Furia have to split their resources between both mid and top. Previously, they'd been able to go to one side and just clear them out equally, but now, with having to send 4 members up to the top side, 5 even, you can see VRX move their way in the mid lane, get themselves that mid lane inhibitor, and now even more to that fact, they're going to be able to get the top one as well.
Oh, FNB's free to look for the engaged damage, lands a hook, but you cannot commit that far in, just gets blown up. The Ornhorn finds 2, but it don't matter. Skeeto is not long for the world. FNB jumps forward, picks up another one. Crastiel finds a double kill, and that is going to be VRX win in the game. Absolutely. The minions are not here. The inhibitors are down, and VRX look as clean as I had thought they were going to when we started.
Yeah, that was an incredible game as well from VRX. Like, assuming they're going to be able to win the game from here.
Yeah, they got
and
it.
Indeed, they are. It was a rel performance of a lifetime. Gotta say, honestly, incredibly impressed by Was and his play right there. The style with which he just casually finds a 3-4 man engage, casually does it in their base, saving his ADC, like all of these things culminating in denying gold to the enemy and keeping your squad alive. It is just